Hey guys, it's the Nightwing at Way of Life Esports coming at you guys with another League of Legends video, here to talk about the LEC Spring Split 2020 Week 7 thoughts and opinions. So this week G2 played up against Fnatic and Origin. This was their toughest schedule by far, and we also had the other teams kind of bounce back and rebound comparing to how they were actually performing. The only really big talking point about this week is that the G2 and Fnatic game, which was really close, and then Fnatic got an early lead in a lot of different areas around the map. G2 were running a composition of scaling, and then G2, when they're around the Baron pit, Jankos steals the Baron away from Fnatic, because Fnatic don't realize that if you want to do proper Baron control, you also have to destroy the blast cone. So Jankos blast cones over, and Smite steals away the Baron. And then a lot of the Fnatic fans were saying that, that was the only reason why G2 won, but they weren't really losing the game in general. I think the mid lane Akali pick is very questionable, because, it really can't do anything into Gragas or Yasuo in general. It literally just can't do anything, because if Akali goes in, Yasuo knocks you up, and then you're basically just a walking shroud. Now, looking at the other matches from this week, on Friday, you had Rogue playing up against Vitality. It's pretty much a wash here because of how, bad Vitality actually look in general. I liked the way Rogue were playing this week. There was a lot of priority given to Larson in the draft. We obviously saw him on the Azir, and, I think that's his best champion right now of the split. We had Finn on the set. I think everything looked pretty good for Rogue, and then you had Vitality. You had Cabochard on the early game aggressive Renekton, and then you also had another early game aggressive jungler in Lee Sin. Vitality put in Selfie. I know you guys might remember him. He played on H2K. He's played on a lot of teams so far, a lot of EU Challenger teams. He was on FlyQuest Academy. He's been on quite the number of teams. He was going to be on the C9 Academy at one point, but I think they chose to run with Golden Glue. And then we finally saw Selfie make his LEC debut on Vitality. Now, it's not his fault. They are literally a piece of garbage, but, at the end of the day, he is better than Seiken, and Seiken is literally just a laner who was just literally running it down. I think any upgrade over him would have been exactly better. I know it's not all his fault, but he was playing absolutely horrible. It was so bad watching him. Watching him was like, I don't know, watching a match just get thrown away by anything he would do, relatively. So that's how that game went. Rogue ended up winning. Then you had Mad Lions versus Schalke, also another free win. Basically, Schalke, Vitality, and SK Gaming are free wins for anybody. Right here in the matchup, you had Humanoid on the Quirky and Karzi on the Misfortune. You also had Odawamne and Abadage on the Azir and the Aatrox, respectively. And then, obviously, the bot lanes were pretty much topsy-turvy, as a term that I used to use back in the day. Most of the game was pretty, snowballed after Mad Lions were getting a lot of objectives. They ended up winning a Baron fight. You had Odawamne trying to get in there to obviously, make sure they at least lose health from actually, tanking the Baron. But then later on, Humanoid is on the back line, dealing impressive damage, and actually pretty much just 1v3ing on the Quirky, just putting out massive amounts of damage. Abadage did have a good Azir ultimate, but at last, it doesn't mean anything when your team is that far behind. And then Schalke lose to Mad Lions. Fnatic played up against SK Gaming. I don't really know why SK Gaming are even in the league at this current point in time. They look fucking horrible. Watching them is like watching paint dry while watching like two cockroaches kill each other, while also watching a great white shark eat a seal. It is literally the worst combination of any games ever. I think the Fnatic draft worked out really well. Hillisang was on the patented Zac support. Reckless was on the Misfortune. Reckless was getting a lot of early on kills in team fights. And Bwipple was obviously a nice conservative rock for Fnatic in the top lane. Nemesis was actually on the Lulu, which was really interesting, but they are playing up against SK, so literally they can do anything. I mean, SK Gaming and Schalke and Vitality are just loads of trash. And then after that, you had Misfits Gaming versus XL Esports. Obviously, XL are the dark horse team for me still. They do actually do quite the number of things correct. Mickey was actually on the Pantheon, Expect was on the Renekton. But the issue with this team is that even if Torre is on a early game support like Galio, I don't really think that really works out effectively, because I think that Galio and Senna have good lane synergy. It just depends on, you know, what they're actually doing with the rest of their comp, which doesn't really make too much sense, because you're also factoring in that, you know, the comp in Misfits just pretty much outscale the comp in XL, and they just got outscaled, and then they eventually lost the game. Really feels bad for XL. They have good parts about it being a good team, but it's just not really coming together. And then G2 Esports, my favorite LEC team, my other team that I choose to obviously watch in the LEC, and I love them just as much as I love Cloud9. G2 obviously play up against Origin. Now, this game looked a lot different than the one they played up against Fnatic. Wonder played really well on the set. OG actually make a lot of good early game decisions. They actually had a gold lead at a certain portion of the game. Then obviously Origin made a few mistakes near the end of the game with objective control and how they were choosing to fight around set objectives in general. They almost got a pick off on Mickey, and then Mickey obviously Braum, the W Braum uses and he gets away, and then obviously they start to fight Origin around the Dragon Pit. Nuke Duck dodges out from a Sonic Wave, and then obviously Alfari even kills Wonder, and then obviously Destiny goes down as well, and then later on, as the game is about to obviously end, G2 get the Elder Dragon, and then they end the game because that dragon buff that the Elder Dragon gives you is absolutely 100% ridiculous and insane. Alright, and then you're moving on to day 2. We had SK playing Schalke. I mean, it doesn't matter if these guys win or lose. They're basically are like, alright, spring split's over, GG, no re. We're a bunch of just dog shit right now. Like, I'm pretty sure no one's gonna disagree with me, obviously saying they're pretty bad. Because in EU, most people are like, it's literally just G2, Fnatic, Origin, and Rogue, and you have XL and Mad Lion somewhere in there. While SK and Schalke, they're trying, you know. I mean, sometimes splits don't go your way, and then, you know, they had the Forgiven thing. They weren't already that good anyway. SK just are not good in general. I mean, I think they legitimately are the worst team in the LEC outside of Vitality. Vitality at least try something to win. They're just all bad in general. Schalke win. I'm pretty sure no one cares about this match in general. Like, if you go back and watch a VOD for this matchup, it probably has like 3,000 views because realistically, no one gives a flying shit. All right, so after that, you have Vitality playing up against XL Esports. XL looked a lot more better in this game. It's actually good. They went 1-1 this week. For them, XL have went 1-1 every single week, but I think that might be coming to a halt because they actually play G2 and Fnatic coming up this week, and I think that that's going to be a real big test to them to actually see if they can handle the top tier teams of the league. Last time they played Fnatic, it was actually a decently close game. I think XL made a pretty bad call around the Baron, and that's the reason why they obviously lost, and, you know, that obviously made sure Fnatic got the victory. But it was nice to see XL winning. Then you had Mad Lions versus Rogue. I think this matchup was pretty interesting. I liked where it was obviously going. You also had both teams trying out different things. Rogue, started to bounce back this week. Mad Lions were having a little bit of a decent early game going for them. Vander, he got killed at a certain point by the Gragas barrel, and then Larson was on the mid Tristana. We have not seen that in a while either, and that was actually a pretty interesting thing. I know a lot of TSM fans, when Larson said he's better than Bjergsen, they're like, who is Larson? Well, maybe you should probably watch the LEC to figure out who Larson is, because I think he's actually been playing really well and could easily contest Bjergsen in general. And yeah, Rogue made quick work of Mad Lions, and they put them at the 8-6 record. Then you have Misfits versus Origin. Now, Misfits were getting a lot of hype coming, back from the previous week where they were actually looking like a top 4 team in the LEC. They were at one point tied for first, and then obviously, Origin in this game play a lot more decisively. They pretty much run the exact same comp outside of just switching out the top lane and the AD carry the top lane and the mid laner for their composition. I think that most of Misfits is still actually pretty good in general. But, this week showed why I think people really were, overrating Misfits. And I'm not saying overrating in the bad way. I mean, they're kind of overrating how good they were. But they did beat G2, so you do kind of have to give them that credit in there as well. I think that Febabin has still been playing pretty well. And obviously, Razork still looks like the rookie above the split to me. And I think that if you look out from that perspective, there has been a lot that they have been working on. And I mean, losing to Origin is a team they're pretty much, neck and neck with in the standings. So if they do lose to Origin, it isn't really that bad because they're pretty much just as good as them anyway. So it's not that big a deal personally. And the last matchup of this week, which got most of the headlines and controversy, and I'm actually not going to really get into the whole trash talk thing. I'm going to do a topic about trash talk on the podcast, I think next week when I feel a lot better, because right now I'm actually pretty sick right now. I don't even know how I'm even doing this video right now. It literally is the worst thing ever to get sick right before your vacation that I have to go on, obviously. I have 4 days of vacation. We're going to the LCS on Sunday. All will be better by then. I actually feel a little bit better right now, but I'm just letting you guys know I don't really feel that good. So if you guys do say, hey, get better soon, that'd be the best thing in the world. But yes, so Fnatic played up against G2, and tomorrow, if I have enough time, I will do the VOD review. I know I said I was going to do it, and I really am, because I really want to get better at doing that, and I want to start doing that, because it is just, more content for you guys in general. But G2 and Fnatic, the big El Clasico matchup in Europe, it literally is, TSM versus Cloud9, SKT versus KT Rolster, RNG versus EDG. It is that rivalry we're talking about here. So, after the game, there was, trash talk between the Fnatic CEO and the G2 CEO. Obviously, they were just bantering back and forth. But outside of that banter, in the game, Wonder was running the Janna top. Jankos was on the Olaf, Perks Akali, Caps ADC, where he had the choice of Ezreal. And then you had, Mickey on the Yumi. Fnatic's composition was Set, Gragas, Yasuo, you had Kaisa, and Hylissang. Fnatic did quite the bit of things right in this game, but right when they steal the Baron with Jankos, I think that the game just went literally out of Fnatic's favor. The fact that they literally left the Blast Cone open, and then he got a chance to get in there and steal the Baron, means that they need to be more, decisive about what they're actually doing. And when Nemesis threw the Yasuo tornado, Jankos uses the Ragnarok, so he doesn't get knocked up, and Jankos steals the Baron. I'm pretty sure that's going to be on the Penta this week. The game wasn't that bad, Some people say that if they had the Baron, they would have won the game. I'm not really too sure about that either, because they weren't really winning like most people were saying. But let's be honest here, some of the Fnatic fans are kind of delusional. But, at the end of the day, they lost, and that's it. G2 are now in sole position of first place. They now have the 2-0 head-to-head record against Origin and Fnatic. That means they are in sole position of first place. And Fnatic, despite a lot of the people being really down on them after losing to G2, they did play pretty well. They have looked really good, and they're still the second best team. But as Cap said, let's intend to keep it that way. So I'll see you guys later. Like, comment, subscribe, most of all, enjoy. I'm the Nightwing. I am sick as fuck right now. I need to edit this video and put it out for you guys. Tomorrow, I'll have the LCS Week 7 thoughts and opinions out. But right now, I need to actually rest my throat, get some more medicine. I managed to get a video up on my main channel and managed to get a video up on this one, so I'm pretty good for the day. And yeah, see you guys later. Bye. Have a good day. I'm the Nightwing, and I'm signing out. Peace. Goodbye. I'm done.
Hi there, guys. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel for more stuff.
Yeah, thank you.